Soaring toward the Colorado sky and above the horizontal and vertical lines of the surrounding buildings, 17 silvery spires create a series of three-dimensional figures resembling fighter jets in steep ascent. This iconic structure is an all-faith house of worship, designed to meet the spiritual needs of the cadets attending the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. It is the only place in the nation where multiple faiths have their own chapel under the same roof. Architect Walter A. Nesch Jr. of Skidmore, Owings & Merrill designed this bold, modern structure built with aluminum, glass, and steel, and completed the shell of the chapel and surrounding grounds in 1963 at the cost of $3.5 million. Inside the chapel, pipe organs, religious artifacts, and furnishings were all purchased with money collected at United States Air Force chapels and by private donations. The dominant feature of the chapel is the 17 spires, or tetrahedrons, that reach nearly 150 feet into the sky. Each spire is 75 feet long and weighs nearly 5 tons. Stained glass fills the space between each spire and creates a tranquility and light effect similar to Notre Dame's rose window. Unlike the designers of Europe's great cathedrals, Nesch's challenging instructions were to deliver a place of worship for many faiths without using any traditional exterior architectural features. He took those instructions one step further by designing within his one structure 3 splendid and distinct chapels to honor Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish faiths. The Buddhist chapel, also known as the Vast Refuge Dharma Hall, donated in 2007, is the newest addition to the Cadet Chapel, built to serve cadets of the Buddhist faith. Each chapel has its own entrance, and services may be held simultaneously without interfering with one another. Each unique chapel possesses its own beauty and significance. For example, the Protestant chapel, the largest chapel, resides on the upper level with the tetrahedrons forming the walls and the 99-foot-high pinnacled ceiling. Stained glass windows form ribbons of color between the tetrahedrons that graduate from dark to light, representing coming from the darkness into the light of God. The chancel is set off by a crescent-shaped, varicolored reredos behind the altar that represents the arms of God ready to receive anyone who goes there in prayer. Semi-precious stones from Colorado and Santa Pietra marble from Italy cover its 1,260 square foot area. The focal point of the chancel is the 1,200-pound aluminum cross suspended above it. Surrounding the curved steps of the altar are 12 kneelers done in needlepoint by officers' wives' clubs throughout the Air Force. This labor of love was led by General Curtis LeMay's wife, Helen. Each kneeler contains different designs of the cross or Christian symbols as they appear throughout Christian history. The pews, made of American walnut and African mahogany, were sculpted so the end of each pew represents a World War I airplane propeller. The backs of the pews are capped by a strip of aluminum, similar to the leading edge of a fighter aircraft wing. Perched in the choir loft and reaching the uppermost heights of the chapel sits a magnificent classical pipe organ with 4,334 pipes. The largest pipe is 32 feet high, and the smallest is the size of a pencil.
When this facility was originally constructed in the late 1950s, it reflected a demography back then that showed a very, very heavily populated, very strong Protestant majority, if you will, and which is why the Protestant chapel is the largest of the chapels that are in the building. The Roman Catholic and the Jewish and now the Buddhist chapel downstairs were slightly smaller than that. That demography continues to change. And we're finding a greater plurality, a greater diversity of religious tradition and custom in a broader context, not so much concentrated in say, the Protestant ones, but stretching out into some other faith traditions as well. It is a place where we as a chaplain corps are able to carry out our constitutional charter, which is to facilitate the free exercise of religion.
Visitors to the Catholic Chapel will first observe an abstract glass mosaic mural in varying shades of blue, turquoise, rose, and gray behind the altar that creates the focal point for this chapel located on the main level. Superimposed on the mural are two 10-foot-tall marble figures, Our Lady of the Skies on the left and the Guardian Angel on the right. Above and between these two figures is a marble dove, symbolic of the Holy Spirit. The altar, a gift from the late Cardinal Francis Spellman, is a large, simple table of polished marble mounted on a cone-shaped pedestal. A soft brown cast of light emanates from the amber glass panels and strips of multicolored glass set in the side walls. Along the side walls are the 14 Stations of the Cross, carved by the late Luman Martin Winter from 4-inch thick slabs of Carrara marble from the same quarries where Michelangelo drew his stone. The walls of the side altar chapel and baptistry are made from Italian marble and Colorado quartz crystals embedded with multicolored semi-precious stones from the northern shores of the Mediterranean Sea. This chapel also contains a classical pipe organ, although somewhat smaller, with 1,950 pipes. The synagogue or Jewish chapel, also on the main level, seats 100 people in individual chairs. The chapel is shaped like a circle within a square, representing the global mission of the Air Force and the eternal nature of God. The surrounding foyer is paved with 1,631 pieces of Jerusalem stone, donated by the Israeli Defense Forces. Panels of translucent glass, separated by stanchions of Israeli cypress, create the circular walls of the synagogue. 9 paintings by Shlomo Katz hang in this chapel. Each is presented in gold leaf applique and tells a specific story related to flight, humanity, justice, and mercy. The Holy Ark shelters the scrolls of the Torah and is the focal point of the synagogue. The Ner Tamid hangs to the right of the Ark. Nestled in the 3 stars of David, it symbolizes the ever-present God within the life of the Jewish people. A display cabinet in the foyer of the Jewish chapel contains a Torah scroll that was saved during World War II. It was found in Poland in 1989 in an abandoned warehouse and donated to the Jewish chapel in April 1990. This Holocaust Torah is dedicated to the memory of all those who resisted the Nazi regime. Designed and built by Ed Scher and donated in 2007, the Buddhist chapel is 300 square feet and created as a freestanding structure within the existing structure. It is made of Port Orford cedar, a rare, fragrant wood used for temple building in Japan, and its simply proportioned design welcomes Buddhists of all denominations as well as guests. This chapel also contains special artifacts, such as the Buddha figure from Burma and a large lion-topped censer from China. The arrangement of the altar focuses on the Buddha figure, representing gratitude to the historical Shakyamuni Buddha and the possibility of awakening or enlightenment. As the only place in the nation where each multiple faiths has its own chapel under the same roof, the Academy Chapel also features distinctive faiths rooms, which provide a worship area for smaller religious groups. They are purposely void of religious symbolism so that they may be used by a variety of faiths. Currently, one of the 3 distinctive faiths rooms is configured as a Muslim worship space. In 2004, the Cadet area was named a United States National Historic Landmark, of which the Cadet Chapel is a contributing structure to the Cadet area and continues to be a place of worship for the more than 4,000 cadets at the institution. Over the years, many awards were bestowed upon the chapel, such as the American Institute of Architects 25-Year Award, which recognizes American buildings of enduring significance. The AIA also named the chapel the 51st most popular building in the country in 2007. 2013 marks the chapel's 50th anniversary, and the chapel will require renovation and repair similar to the renovations and repairs that were made to Harmon, Saigon, and Vandenberg Halls under the Academy's Fix USAFA program. 50 years after the initial construction of this National Historic Landmark, many advances in technology, materials, engineering, and architecture have been made. Additionally, the tightening DoD budget and increasing competition for sustainment, modernization, and restoration (SRM) funding will compel the Academy to investigate and potentially pursue cooperative funding ventures of federal and private capital, similar to how the new Holiday Athletic Center and Center for Character and Leadership Development (CCLD) were funded. Incorporating these advancements will help extend the lifespan of the chapel and ensure that cadets and all airmen assigned to the Academy have the ability to exercise their constitutional free exercise of religion for another 50 years and beyond.